What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Fortnite Champions Series. It's your boy Zeke, and we just got done over in Europe, where we just crowned brand new Trios champions. And now we're here in NA East to do it all again. 6 matches ahead of us. They're going to be absolutely insane, and you guys know I can't do this alone. How are you guys feeling coming into NA East?
NA East, Day 2, it is here. Day 1 did not disappoint at all. The top of the leaderboard, the top 3, separation on the points there, very, very minimum. Love to see the head-to-head competition throughout all 6 games. It was really, really exciting, and hopefully that keeps it up for Day 2 because it's
finale to what has been like 5-6 weeks of just cracking NAE Fortnite action. I mean, And we're going to have some more, I'm sure. Just, you know, we're having so much fun on the desk right now. Yeah. But it's going to be great bringing you guys all the action.
Oh man, we're going to be boarding that battle bus real soon. But first, you know what we got to do. We got to talk about the top of the show. So we're going to start with how we got here. We started over in Europe. We get here in NA East. We're going over NA West. Let's talk about that overall tournament format. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. Zeke, that scary graphic, that's the one, but you already know what this is. Look how simple this is. We started in qualifiers, right? From there, we moved on to semifinals. We then went to a reboot round where the top... And now, after the 6 matches yesterday, Vivid, this is 33 of the best trios in NA East, battling it out. And literally every time they interact with each other, whether that be eliminating them, another trio, walking away from them, every single thing that... Crucial.
Yeah, 33 of the best trios in each region. But how do we determine who is the best? Well, we took 3 trios from the past FNCS, the top 3 specifically from that one, and brought them automatically to these finals. Then we had qualifying weeks. And in each of those qualifiers, the top 3 trios automatically qualified for finals as well. And then we went into the semifinals where we had 3 heats. And in each heat, whoever got top 6 came to the finals to join us. And then we had the last ditch effort, the reboot round, the one that watch. We had 3 of those games this season, so we had 3 trios pulled East. Now that we're in finals though, we're gonna have 2 days of competition. We already had our first day, now we're on day 2, and it's 6 games each day, so 6 more games to play today. And the trio that claims first place are crowned your Chapter 2 Season 6 champions.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what it's all about right now. 8 points separate first and second place. That tight after the first 6 games. We're going to the second 6 now. You can see on the board, eliminations, 2 points. Technically, only 4 eliminations separates first and second place. That's crucial. Eliminations, 2 points each, made such a lot of teams grow their scores yesterday. But you can see standings here. The format points as well are incredibly important. 24th place in your trio will get you at least 5 points. You look all the way to the left-hand side of the board. You'll see 6th position, 20 points. Working your way up to first place. Every victory royale gets you 30 points, which is humongous. We saw our top team Commandments trio yesterday get a first twice, and that's the elimination. So the combination is absolutely integral. It is everything.
And you know, Adam, what is this all amounting to? What's the end game here? Well, of course, the Axe of Champions, but we cannot forget there is prize money on the line. Here is a breakdown of all 7 regions, and here specifically, we can see the breakdown of every single placement here in the FNCS and NA East. $150,000 to the trio that walks away in that number 1 spot. A lot of these trios, they may not be able to make that number 1 spot, but the higher up they can place, the more piece of that pie they'll be able to take home. And of course, apple pie is the best pie. Just kidding, it's actually pumpkin. Anyway, back to the topic of the FNCS. Guys, we got to talk about some of the trios that we've kind of had eyes on. In case you're new to the broadcast, you've never before. This is Adam. This is Vivid. Okay, they like to have a little bit of a rivalry. Okay, and the 2 trios that they're focused on are actually going head to head in first and second spot. So, gentlemen, I'm going to hand this over to you. You guys talk to us about these trios and explain why they're so incredible coming into today number 2.
Yeah, arguably the most incredible trio. Maybe not arguably, because they are in the first place slot. Scented, Edgy, and Commandment. Consistency was on another level yesterday. They had 2 victory royales, 2 second places, an 18th and an 11th place. On the 18th and 11th place, if they would have somehow pulled out some top 5s out of those, man, they would be like 100 points ahead right now. But you know, everybody has those rough games. That aside though, those good games they had have put them in that first place slot. And how do they get there? Well, they dominate the low ground. As you can see in this clip right here, they just do such a good job of working together to pressure the teams that are either above them or on the same level as them, and it's all together, and it just works so well for them.
Look, I mean, he's so confident for once with it because he knows this is the first time he's on top between the two of us. So I'll let him have it for now. But if things are going to change, they're going to change. I know they are. You can see Day, Mirror, and Reverse here, the trio that I've chosen. These guys qualified on week 2. We know that they're previous FNCS champions. They are incredible when it comes to head-to-head elimination game. I mean, their standings aren't necessarily great, but eliminations is what it's all about for them. These guys, 42 eliminations on day 1 occurred within the first 2 zones. So they are largely doing most of their damage later on in the game. So as long as they stick to the end of the game, they could do a massive amount of point making. And DJ skills and ages, I mean, these guys, we know a lot about them. Vivid as well. Great team to watch in 3rd position right now. Recently, DreamHack Open Duos champions DJ and ages. So they are on point as well, Vivid.
Yeah, they are on point, and to end off day 1 yesterday, they actually grabbed the last victory royale of the day, so momentum is there coming into day 2 for them. But as you guys can see here, this is how our standings are set after day 1. So we'll take the points from day 1 together, and that's how we will create our final leaderboard. So the teams here, our top 10 is looking really, really solid. We talked about the top 3, but a team that kind of flew under our radar yesterday was Jamper, Threats, and Rise. They are up there as well with 162 points, 27 elims, a little on the low side for the top side of that leaderboard there, but nonetheless doing great.
Yeah, well, let's definitely talk about those guys later on because I'm sure they're going to see them doing a lot of business out in the sixth position as well. Definitely ones to take note of. I mean, the first 6 teams there as well are very, their POIs, their drop zones are very, sporadic around the map. So I think that's one of the reasons that they've done so well as well. They're not actually kind of going head to head against each other until the end game, which gives them a lot more space and opportunity to kind of take their time and get into the games as opposed to going out very early on. But you can see, previous FNCS champions Slacks, Acorn, and Jack there in 8th position right now. A bit of a surprise to all of us. I think we thought they might do a little bit better, but it is day 2. There are still 6 games to play, and they still have 127 points. There's still plenty of time to do exactly that. We can see as well one of our FNCS previous kind of automatic qualifiers in 11th position, Bucky, Macwood's trio as well. I mean, Vivid not as well they're doing as we thought. That was terrible English. Not doing as well as we thought they would do at this point in the game.
Yeah, they're not doing as well as we thought that they would be doing. However, a cool statistic is that in the last FNCS, they were actually in 12th place after day 1, and they ended up finishing top 3 in total. So this isn't like unknown territory for them. They have the potential to come back, and day 2 could be absolutely explosive for them. So we need to pay attention. None of these trios are out of the running so far because the top side of the leaderboard, they could have a bad day, and this 11th through 20th position, they could have great days. They can come out and win 6 victory royales. Maybe this team gets 6 victory royales. So gotta keep an eye out on all of these trios.
All right, so Fortnite fam, you heard it. Vivid would like to see a trio walk with 6 victory royales. He's invoking that. It's the opposite of the caster curse. We're going to see if that all happens. And if it does, you can just remember that moment in time where Vivid said that. We'll have to see how that goes. Gentlemen, we have to talk about our predictions. We made predictions at the start of yesterday's broadcast for NA East. And now we should remind the audience which teams we think will walk away in the #1 spot. And of course, for you guys, there's really no surprise. The trios that you kind of just talked about were also your picks. This is why I'm talking about the great Adam versus Vivid battle of 2021. Perhaps of all of life. We'll have to see. Adam. Day, Miro, Reverse 2K.
Yeah, I mean, the trio here, I can't champion enough. I mean, we've talked about them, a lot of the last, the last 4 or 5 weeks. They got obviously in the qualifier 2, they qualified top of the leaderboard there and did incredibly well. But as we said, experience plays an important part here in FNCS of everything. Consistency and experience is huge. All of our players, all the trios are incredibly talented, but these guys, they know what to do. There's an instinct around what they're doing together as a trio, and I think that they are going to go the distance today. I think if they have a good game, a few games under the belt. They had bad 2 games, 5 and 6 yesterday. They continue doing well. They're going to go the distance. And I look at as well like Aussie as well, Slacks, Acorn, and Jack. A great trio. They obviously FNCS champions from last season. Are they going to do better today? We hope so. We expected, I think, better things yesterday. They went out quite early in the early game, so hopefully they can go all the way to the end and get some eliminations and get those points.
Yeah, MDF for the prediction on Bucky, Kanata, and Macwood. A good prediction there. Not paying off so far, but like I said, the competition is not over. They sit in 11th place. And then, of course, my prediction is Scented, Edgy, and Commandment. We know where they sit, right? They sit in first. I made the prediction. They're in first. Yada, yada, yada. We've been here before, right? Like, my predictions are always right?
Oh my gosh, he's become too powerful. If he wins the predictions, we'll never be allowed to live it down. Okay, guys, we're about to jump aboard the battle bus here any moment now, but I kind of wanted to pick your brains as we prepare for these next 6 matches. So we had the 6 from yesterday, and Adam, you actually touched on it. A lot of these trios that we expected to do well didn't really do so hot yesterday. What do you think trios are going to look to change up coming into today's games?
You know, it's a pretty individual-based kind of an idea, right? Like some trios are having difficulties in some areas while others are exceeding in some of those areas. So they've had a bit of a break, you know, a whole day to rest up, go over that footage, go over the replays, see what they think they are doing wrong. So today might even be better competition than yesterday because these teams are kind of seeing how all these other trios are landing, how they're like routing their loot, what they're doing for Storm Surge, and they can make huge adjustments to how they actually play around there. So we may see some cool strategies come to light here if somebody does some deep research into how trios are acting that are landing around them.
Yeah, these trios are the best of the best. You know, they've all made it here to FNCS finals, which is, you know, which says a lot about the caliber of the talent here as well. We've touched on a few teams already, but you know, a trio as well like Saf, Stretch, and Avery as well. We talked about yesterday, who, you know, we know them obviously as well because of the history with Zayt and such. But you know, you look at that trio who. It felt that every time they did anything yesterday, it was all about aggression, getting that high ground off the get-go, really trying to get as dominant as humanly possible very early on. And because all the you know, the lobby is so stacked, trios can't afford to really, you know, hang back and wait around here. They have to go for this. They have to be aggressive, and that's what we love to see because that's what we want to see: eliminations and great play from our teams.
Absolutely. Well, friends, guess what? We don't have to wait any longer. It's about that time. But first, I gotta introduce you to 2 friends who will be casting all the action. It's none other than Aussie Antics and Monster D-Face. So let's say hello to them and jump aboard the battle bus. Friends, over to you.
Thank you so very much, Zeeks. We're now one step closer here, Aussie, to crowning a champion here for the NA East region. They said it best. They told us who is in the lead right now, but more importantly, what stood out to me is who can adjust to their gameplay, right? Yesterday was a phenomenal day, but no one team played perfect. Everyone at the top did drop a round or 2.
Yeah, I mean, when the competition is this fierce, all we saw was a couple games. Sentin's team struggled one game with Storm Surge. They went down around 18th. We saw it happen to Reverse 2K, Day, and Miro. It really is anyone up for grabs. And if you look at were huge comebacks on the board. Rezon, Vidil, and Noah Riley, they came from, I think, like outside of top 15 to almost a top 5. Like, you can bring this back in a big way. There's teams around 4th, 5th, 6th that could easily run away with this. But I mean, Censored Edgy Commandment right now, they are playing so consistent. Reverse 2K, Day, and Miro, they were insanely consistent first 4 games, fell off the pace, but with their playstyle monster eliminations worth 2, they were dropping record-breaking amounts of eliminations. If they tee that together for 3 or 4 games again, it's gonna be tough.
And that's the thing. Right now, we're watching all that success, all that effort, all that hard work that they put in the preparation. Now, literally folding itself over into the gameplay. It's coming out and it's just leaking its way into the scoreboard right now. They're finding so much success at being consistent with their strategies. DGen, Aegis, and Skittles, Reverse 2K, and of course his trio here now up against Scented. It's literally a clash right now between the 3. Honestly, it's a race. I think it's a true race right now between the 3. And again, they still have to play perfect Fortnite. Just outside of that that bubble of near perfection, we do still have the likes of Saf, Avery, and Stretch, who most impressively to me have been playing for high ground, right? What we've watched from them is nothing short of phenomenal. A team that wants to play for first, and I personally love seeing teams, you know, push out and try to be the best of the lobby and secure a W.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time as well, we've got so many teams. We saw other teams like Nosh's team show up and take a victory out. With so many teams in this lobby that could very easily take out a win, even if they're down on the leaderboard, that keeps the top even closer. But Censored Edgy Command, we got to talk about it. They haven't just been consistent this weekend, Monster. They came second in the last 2 FNCSs. You and I were talking in the pre-show. A top 3 today, I feel like, would have to cement them as the best team in NA East with that level of consistency. We want to celebrate the win. I'm sure they won. They have their eyes set on that pickaxe. We just saw an EU, all the pros talking about it. The pickaxe means a lot to these guys. Second place, it's a lot of money. First place is even more, but it's also the pride. They've been runners up twice, but their consistency across, that's 24 games of finals. They've now played 30 games of finals, and they've been inside the top 2 the entire time. Hold on.
Yeah, they have some of the best consistency we've seen across any region. But here and now, for day number 2, the Game 7, as we start to kick things off here, will start to cement players in one step closer. Let's see who can take it all home here now and who will win the first game of day number 2.
It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. I mean, I'm not seeing any kind of crazy changes so far. It looks like Caddy Corner's got the same fight we saw going on before, but our big names, Scented Edgy Commandment, Misty Meadows, uncontested. Degen Ages Skittles up near that orchard. It looks like they triple dropped on the Slurp Truck, uncontested as well. Right now, Day Mirror Reverse, Dirty Docs, uncontested. So there's been no crazy changes so far. So as much as these teams are looking to run away with it, it looks like everyone's starting off on pretty much similar footing here.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a reset day, not only for the players here, but of course the mental as well, right? You get to sleep things off. You get to hit the books, like you mentioned. You get to literally VOD review, come up with strategies, figure out what was working for you, what isn't, what better ways can we either rotate into teams to capitalize or avoid teams to capitalize. One of the things that I did notice about Reverse 2K, Miro, and Day, they're pretty much outclassing a lot of the opponents in their general landing spot area. And for that reason, they're very much happy with taking a lot of those early game fights, as opposed to like Edgy, Scented, and Commandment, for example. When they rotate out, they're coming across the likes of Jack, Acorn, and Slacks, right? There's no easy teams on their pathing out, so even positioning here on the map, it just plays such a deeper part into the way that their games are unfolding.
Yeah, and I think Reverse 2K Day Mirror, the way they're playing their Storm Surge, because they're in Dirty Dogs, timing is everything. They need to get enough loot and use that uncontested POI to get that advantage, so when they take their first fight, they can win it. But if they take too long on their first fight, in Game 6, even though they maybe have their opponent outclassed in fighting ability, because of other teams in the area having eyes on it, they don't get to have that straight 3v3 fight they like to have. There was a lot of people, you know, they were third party taking shots from a distance, and that was the deciding factor. So their timing has to be perfect, and I think, unfortunately for their play style, it looks like the teams around them are adapting to the way they're playing. But this is a fight that we saw break down a lot yesterday. We have Xerxes' team going up against Coop's team here at Caddy Corners. It's usually with the Caddy Corners and then Weather Station split. Loadout, as I also see Cease go down in the feed. So over at Flush Factory or Hydro Dam, something's changed up there because they were
yields out some really awesome loot right now for different reasons, but hold up, Twix is under some serious pressure. He's trying to figure things out right now as they're all backed against the wall here. Cobb, Genesis, Adams, and Coop here finding, I'd say, the upper hand in the battle so far. No one trio right now can confidently say they're going to win this one. Not just yet. It's going to come down to the shots. Chubbs, nice job there for the punishment. So things are still in, the story for them, right? They're still holding it down so far.
And they're up against the veteran. Coaches has, I would say, close to 1,000 spawn. I know what you're thinking, like, oh, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but I kid you not, when COD Genesis was playing against Calazo and they were dropping here, it was day after day, 10 games of scrims every day, 4 weeks, 4 months, they were fighting over Caddy Corner. So COD Genesis really is the veteran when it comes to this spawn fight, but it's going to come down a lot to who has the better loot, as I see Edgy getting a knock in the feed. That's first place getting a very uncharacteristic early knock, so that's 2 more points, and whoa, this is an wow. Okay.
Time, and the last time it didn't end as fast as they liked it to have ended, so pick them up. And now again, a little bit of a reset here, but surely the enemies know that now it's a full reboot. So, oh, look at this, proper disengage here.
Oh, it's not only that. I'm seeing they're disengaging straight into a third party. I'm seeing 3 arrows up on the mountain looking down. They would have 100% heard that reboot, so they know that this fight has gone to one of these teams, which will make them that much more inclined to engage. I mean, they don't have zone though, so whatever this team up on the hill does, they need to either get some early tags and maybe run away or fully engage very quickly, because they have to rotate, and even 2 teams ahead of you rotating, no matter what their loadout looks like, because Adam's not looking too hot right now. It's not the way to rotate around the edges, maybe just get a few tags and try to get something out of this. But as we saw yesterday, it's unfortunate to see this contest doesn't really matter who, because both of them are losing the war at the end of the day. They are just not getting to end game with the loot they need to make a major difference.
Yeah, that's the thing. It can be really infuriating for a player to want to stick out a drop spot, but ultimately you do have to sometimes just take one on the chin here and decide as the bigger team, or be the bigger person in the instances, and maybe just switch it up, try something different. But ultimately, there's no free drops on the map, so it is what it is. Even if they do move out, they're going to end up clashing against some other team or another. But hold up, Hornet and company now looking inside. This is Skylix, Adonis, and Hornet fully healthy HP-wise, all the way capped off here. Adonis playing the lurker on the side here. Twix seems like he had an idea that someone might be nearby, but maybe not. This could be the free pinch.
Yeah, right now they're coming in with a lot of a loot advantage here. Twix goes down. Zerx is not looking too hot either. Chubbs has the biggest advantage on his team, but only has about a effective 100 full HP with shield as well on top. So look like an interesting one for you guys at home, but this is a decent strategy from Adonis's team to get some good surge. There's usually a engage from this quickly and then start rotating. It could work well for them, but I know Adonis's team needs to get some points on the board. They've been struggling a little bit for surge, which is the story for a lot of teams that drop on these mountains and this far southeast section, similar to Domination and their storm surge.
Yeah, for sure. They made it worthwhile at least to get to convert there on top of it. A bit of a drawn out battle as well.